Hey, what's up, carnivores? Zach here with American Smoke. Have you ever wondered what would happen if I just cook a brisket really fast? Will it be any good? Will it be tender? Will it be juicy? Will it pass the bend test? Well, I've never cooked a hot and fast brisket, and I'm curious to see how it's going to turn out. That's what we're doing today. Today is hot and fast brisket day down at the river. I've already got this thing ready last night. I went ahead, I trimmed it up. USDA choice beef, Black Canyon Angus beef. I put my binder on it. I seasoned it. And then I wrapped it in plastic wrap. And this is where we're at right now. Wrapped up, looks like something out of a horror movie. The reason I did this is to help the seasoning bind to the brisket overnight, and hopefully it's going to get us a better crust without having to be in the smoker for 16 hours. I've seen some other people do this, and I thought to myself, I want to do that. And so today, I'm doing that. I hope y'all are having a great weekend. We're just going to remove this plastic. It's morning time here at the river. It's coffee and smoke time. Put a little time and effort into making it pretty because I wanted it to be really aerodynamic when it's in there in that smoke chamber. And in case y'all don't know this, that matters. If you've got rough edges and unsmooth spots, it can affect the quality of the cook. What we've got on our brisket today is something I'm also very excited about. Pepper garlic seasoning from Lane's. I went real light with that, and then we went on with some Bronco rub. This is a combination rub from Lane's. It's their brisket rub and their Onco rub. Y'all let me know if I'm saying that wrong in the comments. It's just got everything that you need for a brisket as far as coarse ground pepper, salt, garlic, all that sort of stuff, some spices that is their unique blend. And then also there's some roasted coffee in there, which is what's going to give us a beautiful, beautiful bark on this brisket. Just looking at it, you can just tell. It already looks like it's got a bark, and it hasn't even been in the smoke yet. We're going to be placing our meter plus. We're just going to run that in there, try to get it to the thickest point of the brisket so that it tells us when the thickest part reaches the correct temp. Y'all might be looking at this little tray right here and wondering, what's he doing with that? Well, this is a little bit of a brisket secret. If you're new to brisket, this is something you can throw in and it'll take you to hero level on your brisket in no time. What we've done here is these are some of the trimmings. This is probably 3/4 of the trimmings from this brisket. This was a smaller brisket, only about 9 pounds, and I took about 3/4 of the fat trimmings and put them in this little pan. We're going to put this in the smoker with the brisket. The fat is going to cook down and render down into the pan, and when I get ready to wrap this brisket, I'm going to pour beef tallow straight out of this pan onto my brisket from the brisket, and that's going to help keep it moist, keep it succulent. So let's go ahead and let's get that into the smoker right now. I want to talk to y'all a little bit about my setup I've got on my smoker as well. We're running at 300 degrees. That's why it's called hot and fast. We're not doing no 225 here, no 250, no 275. We run it at 300. The way I've got it set up here, I've got water in my pan, I've got my smoke tube on this bottom shelf, and then I've got another water pan above the tube that's going to deflect the smoke and help it roll around. And what I'm hoping for is that it's going to roll out and around and then kind of encapsulate my brisket, giving it even more smoke flavor, even a better bark, and just, you know, all around goodness. I don't want to put this back edge right up against the back because it's hotter back there, but where I do want to put back there is my beef tallow. I'm going to put that right back there in the corner. So that's one of the hottest spots in the smoker. We're going to let this go, watching the temp, coming back out to spritz it here in about maybe 2 hours. We're out here at the 4-hour mark. I came in around the 2-hour mark and I did a little spritz, and so now it's time to do another spritz and let y'all have a little look at what's going on inside the pit boss. Let's check it out. Dear God, I don't know about y'all, but it don't get much better than that. It don't really even need much of a spritz. I got the 2 water pans in there, keeping my humidity level way up. I don't know if you can get in there and get a look inside that pan. Look at that fat rendering down in there. Boy, I'm gonna dump it all over the top of that thing. Before I wrap it, it's gonna be mighty fine, mighty fine. We're at the 4-hour mark, hot and fast, cooking at 300 all the way. Hopefully this thing's gonna tender up for us. It's already taken on great color. Couldn't look any better. But since this is a first time experiment for me, I've got my reservations, I've got my doubts. But I think we're gonna be all right. Let's see what our internal temp is right here. Check the old meter. Meter's got us running at 146. In 4 hours, we went from about 50 degrees all the way up to 146 in 4 hours. So we should be hitting the stall here in a little while when we get to that 165 mark, at which point in time I'm gonna be wrapping it up in some aluminum foil. So we'll see y'all probably then. All right, boys and girls, we are at the 7-hour mark. This thing is looking mighty fine. We are sitting at an internal temperature of 170 degrees at the thickest point of the point. We're gonna pull it out. We're gonna do a double wrap in foil, the old Texas cheat. I considered not even wrapping this thing because it's going so well. It's kind of pushing through the stall, but in the nature of this video, when we're trying to do hot and fast, we're trying to do as fast as possible. Fastest way to do it, wrap it up in foil. So we're gonna go ahead, wrap it up, get it back into the smoke. Y'all know that river wind, as soon as it picks up that you're trying to do something, who do you write about the wind? Is there like a government agency that's supposed to take care of this sort of stuff for me? Coming from all directions, stop. Oh dear Lord. Already real flexible. Look at that. Dear Lord in heaven. Right there we got our homemade beef tallow. So the meter, like I said, has us at about 170 degrees. Let's go ahead and double check. Already feels good. We're sitting at about 171, 172 right there. Come down here in the flat, 174, 175. Ooh, that right there is 183. But over here in this thickest point, it's still got a nice little tug to it. It ain't picking it up or anything, but it's still got a ways to go. That foil is gonna get us there. All we're gonna do is we're gonna take our tallow and we're just gonna pour a little bit over the top of this thing. Look at that, it's crystal clear, crystal clear. And that's just gonna moisten that thing up, give it a little something to sit in. That is a thing of beauty right there. Be careful not to spill that. That's liquid gold right there is what that is. Liquid gold. And we're gonna close this baby up. This is heavy duty foil. And we're gonna flip it. Wrap her up again. Try to make it as airtight as possible. I didn't mention this earlier, but we're cooking this brisket fat side up. I knew the fat was gonna render a lot faster because of the intense heat. So I have said in another video that I like to cook mine fat side down, but this one is fat side up and it's doing mighty fine. So we're gonna go ahead and get this little Easter egg of aluminum foil. It does kind of look like an egg, don't it? We're gonna get that back in the smoke, back in the hot box. All right, boys and girls, hopefully what's gonna happen is that foil's gonna have that thing ready in about another hour and a half, 2 hours, and then we'll be ready for the rest. We'll cut it up, try a bite. Man, I can't wait. Oh, don't want to forget to continue to render out my tallow. If you look at that, that stuff has really just shrunk like crazy. If you're looking, you ain't cooking, Zach. If you're looking, you ain't cooking. Get that door closed, boy. Yeah, whatever I've got left, I'm gonna filter through a little bit of cheesecloth and I'm gonna put it in a jar, and we'll be saving that for later. So we'll see y'all in a little bit when we pull it out, when it hits the temp. All right, carnivores, the hot and fast brisket is done. It took a little over 8 hours to cook. It has been resting for almost 4 hours now, which worked out good for me because we went to a cookout tonight down on the river, caught some lightning bugs with my little girls. They're 3 and 2, so good stuff. Speaking of good stuff, we're gonna go ahead and get this brisket out of the cooler and we're gonna get it up here on the counter where y'all can look at it. All I did was I just set it in the cooler with 2 towels underneath it, 2 towels on top, shut the old lid, rock and roll. I did monitor it on my app, on my phone for my meter. You know, as long as it stays above about 145 degrees, you're all right. If it starts getting to that 145 degree mark and you need another couple of hours time, like say you're gonna feed some people, put it in your oven, set it on warm, it'll keep it above 145, you can leave it in there for 12 hours if you need to. One quick tip, something that I found out today is that your meter will not work if it's wrapped up in a double layer of heavy duty aluminum foil. So I had to go in there and do a little pokey, find it and get it worked outside the aluminum foil, then it worked just fine. Something to carry along with you. Pull that out of there. This is an easy cook. You know, most of the time when I do a brisket, I put it in the night before and I've got to get up a couple times and that whole routine. It is still hot and drippy, drippy. Oh, mama. Ooh, I'll tell you what, when you extract that tallow and you pour it over the top of it, let it bathe in its own fats, you ain't making nobody mad with that. Well, that was a little messy. We just went ahead and turned the camera off and got it out of the foil. We put our leftover tallow that was in the foil in this little ramekin cup here, and you know, that's there in case for some unforeseen reason it's dry on the inside, which I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I don't think it is, because my God, look at this. It looks like, ooh-wee. Gotta love it. Got to love it when you get a hold of it. It's got some jiggle to it, man. Oh, choice brisket, cooked at 300 all the way through, hot and fast, wrapped in foil at 170 degrees, cooked up to 200 and something degrees. I'm just so pleased with how it turned out. So we're gonna cut through right here at the thickest point, kind of where the point goes over the top of the flat or where the fatty end overlaps the lean. Depends on where you're from and how you describe brisket. Flat is the lean, the point is the fatty. Let's go into this thing and see what's up. Look at that. Yes. Oh man. Like you know that it's gonna be good, but then again, there's always a shadow of a doubt. You don't have to squeeze this. This is no squeeze here. This is just the weight of the brisket itself pushing the fat out. Man, is that pretty. Oh, I'm so happy. That just looks perfect. Let's go ahead, get a slice. It's so ooey gooey. Oh, it's so good. No need for this. No need for this. But if you did overcook your brisket, if you did have some kind of a situation like that, you could always base this over it to re-moisten it and save yourself from you know, the feeling that the brisket's just not exactly how you want it. Also, for those of you that were curious, this cooked down. You saw me earlier pour some of that onto the brisket. Got a little beef cracklings in there. Yes, if you would have chopped it up and maybe stirred it a couple times, you could have got a little bit more tallow. But with what we poured over the brisket and what was left, still got this much nice, delicious tallow that you can use for scrambling eggs, you know, tons of uses. You can, if you got enough of it, fry French fries. It's excellent. Anyway, back to the point here. We're gonna get a slice of this and give it a taste. This is why I bought this knife. Oh, for that purpose right there. That is a thing of beauty. It's just dripping fat. That's exactly what you want. That smoke ring. Man, that's good. Best part of having a smoker and smoking food right there. I don't know if I'm ever gonna cook a slow brisket again. I'll be honest with y'all. 300 hit the nail on the head. Man. And sometimes, I don't know about y'all, I don't know, I've had brisket that's a slightly more tender than this, but it almost has a strange mouthfeel. When it gets more and more tender like that, I like it to have just a small amount of bite. And this is, you know, shreddable, but just, man. I want to give a big thanks to my buddies over at Lane's for hooking me up with this combo here. It did the trick. This is a delicious, delicious brisket. Delicious brisket. If y'all have any questions about how I did any of this or anything like that, make sure you let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to smash that like button for me. Consider becoming a subscriber to my channel. I'm always making content. I try to make at least one video a week, and I very, very much try to let that come out on a Monday. Start your week off right, you know? Start your week off right. I know I like starting my week off right. I'm gonna have leftover brisket because I cooked this just for this video, which means I'm not feeding nobody, which means there's plenty. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You cook a brisket, you got all this delicious food, you have a bunch of people over and there, it's gone. And it's gone. This ain't gone, it's mine. Thank y'all so much Make sure, smash like, subscribe, hit the bell. We'll see y'all in the next video. What's he doing, Adeline? Did you see it?
How's your hand open?
What? What did it do? What did it do? Did it move?